All right, so the first one is relative value reasoning. So we've got two numbers, a larger number and a smaller number. The difference the difference between two numbers is 45. That's one equation. The other equation says that 3 times the larger number less 5 times the smaller number. So 3 times the larger number less 5 times the smaller number equals 75. And now you have a choice of solving that by substitution or elimination. Okay. So in this particular situation, looks like substitution is easier because you can take that equation, say x is equal to 45 plus y. So then you write your other equation, 3x minus 5y equals 75. And you substitute this x into that. So it would look like 3 times x minus 5y equals 75. And instead of x, I'm going to put 45 plus y. Please lay the work out step by step. And if you're not sure how to do them, I'll post the solutions we took up so far later today. So 3 times 45 is 135 plus 3y minus 5y equals 75. So 3y minus 5y is minus 2y. The 135 goes to the other side, becomes negative. So I'm looking for y, I'm going to divide both sides by minus 2. Now we know that x is equal to 45 plus y. So that's 45 plus 30. So if we look at that with just this, yes, Rhea. Yes. So there's a couple of examples there for you to try that are relevant to example 1. I'm going to move ahead to example 2. Notice now, if you're struggling to copy down, what's the main thing you need to copy down? You need to copy down this, and you need to write the 2 equations, because you should be able to solve them now, right? And if you can't solve them, they'll be on the page, right? So I set up by first equation, the difference is 45. Then I set up the 3 times minus 5 times, and then I just solved it. This one, it was easier to solve for substitution. You could also solve it by elimination. Okay. In fact, you can try that as an exercise to make sure that you can do that. All right. Example number 2. So you're starting a business that sells air filters for homes. Your startup costs for the business are $12.50, and each air filter kit costs $40. If you sell the air, so this, what question is this like? Remember the lawnmower question, where she cut so many lawns for an hour, and you had to see how much she broke even? So think about it. Your startup costs are $12.50. You pay $40 for a filter, but you sell it for $60. So how much are you making per filter? $20, right? So, so let X be the number of filters sold. In order for you to break even, 20X has to equal $12.50. What's the thinking? Each kit costs $40. You buy it for $40, you sell it for $60. You're making $20 a kit. In order for you to break even, you have to recover the $1,250 that was your startup costs. So your break-even point is 20X equals $12.50. You divide both sides by 20, and you get X equals 62.5. So now you have to reason out. 62.5. So if you sell 62, that's less than 62.5. You're not breaking even. You're still going to lose a little bit money. 63 means you're going to break even, and you might have like a couple of dollars profit. So when you're rounding that off, you need to round it to 63. This is exactly like the question where it says, how many cans of paint do you need to paint the room? And you get 6.1. Or by 7 cans. Otherwise, there'll be a patch of the wall that's a different color, right? So therefore, okay, so I did these word problems within substitution and elimination, because otherwise you think like it's a special thing. But now that we've done substitution and elimination, I just want to expose you to more word problems so you can see the different strategies. So we've got a mixture problem, we've got interest rates, and then we've got percentages. Any questions on this one? All right. Stephanie owns a candy store. She sells hard candy for $2 a kilo, soft candy for $4 a kilo. You want to create a 50-kilo mixture that sells for $3.20 a kilo. So suppose X kilos of hard candy and Y kilos of soft candy. All right. When you take the kilos of hard candy and you take the kilos of soft candy and you add them together, you're supposed to get 50 kilos. So that tells us that X plus Y equals 50. So that's quantity. Kilos plus kilos equals kilos. Every kilo of hard candy costs $2. every kilo of soft candy costs $4. And when you put them together, you get 50 kilos that cost $3.20. Do you understand how I got that equation? One is kilos plus kilos equals kilos. The other one is $2 for hard candy, $4 for soft candy, gives us 50 kilos at $3.20, which is this one. So I'm going to fix that. I'm going to write 2x plus 4y equals. So I've got a couple of choices. I could use substitution again. This time I'm going to use elimination. I'm going to take this equation and I'm going to multiply it by 2 and then put it in there. So that's going to look like this. 2x plus 2y equals 100. Going to subtract 2x minus 2x, 4y minus 2y, 160 minus 100. Y must be 30. How many kilos of mixture do we have? What's the total mixture at the end that costs $3.20? Is the mic on? How much do I have at the end? How much do I want at the end? 50. So if soft candy is 30, how much is the hard candy? Right. So questions? Hopefully I'll have like a half an hour at the end for you to try those questions. And when you try the questions, right, do yourself a favor. Don't do all the example 1 questions, then all the example 2 questions. No, do 1 question from the example 1 list, then do a question from example 2, then do example 3, and then go back to the next one, and then keep repeating that so that in your brain, you don't have all the mixture questions lumped up together, no, you have to see them differently, and then you'll be able to do the word problems better, okay? So the next one is student council. So here's what's happening here. I've got $4,000. Part of it is invested at 8.5%. And the other part is invested at 9.5%. So remember, 8.5% as a decimal is 0.085. 9.5% as a decimal is 0.095. Okay? When I take this amount and add it, I get 4,000. So suppose this is X dollars, and suppose this is Y dollars. Now, if you check, right, just yesterday, the central bank in the States adjusted their interest rates. Sometime today or tomorrow, Bank of Canada is going to adjust their interest rates. I think the last time I checked, the overnight lending rate was 3%, but in the banks, you get like 0.5%. So you got to keep in mind that these are old examples. You cannot walk into a bank today and get 9%. Okay, that's why they say we are in a recession. It'll take a long time for those percentages to go up. So here's your question. This dollar amount plus this dollar amount must add up to 4,000. You guys see that? So I've got X plus Y is 4,000. In order to get interest, they take this percentage, multiply that number, this percentage, multiply that number, and the interest they get is $16 more. Okay? So here's what they say. The interest from the first investment, this one, it's $16 more than the interest from the second one. It's a little complicated, so I want to try and explain it slowly. So the interest from this one will be 0.085x. The interest from this one will be 0.095y. This interest is $16 more than this one. So this is more, this is less. Are we okay with that so far? In order to make them equal, I could minus from the more, or I could add to the less. Okay, got to reason it out. So when I take this money and this money, totally I invested $4,000. This money was invested at 8.5%. This was invested at 9.5%. This one made more money. So that tells you that X is bigger than Y. Because even though it has a lower interest rate, it's making more money. Okay? So I said, okay, this is more, this is less. I could add to the less to make it equal, or I could subtract from the more to make them equal. Okay? So there's your second equation. Now, in this particular situation, actually, it doesn't matter. You could use substitution or elimination. But in this case, when you have these decimal numbers and so on, it's easier to use substitution. Okay? So what I would say here is, okay, now, sorry, let me clarify that. Did you read the question here? It says how much was invested at 9.5%. So are they asking us for X and Y? Are they asking us for X? Are they asking us for Y?
Y.
I'm just asking.
Y.
Okay. So they're asking us for Y. Okay. So when we use substitution, we're going to get rid of the X. You understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. So X is equal to 4,000 minus Y. You can put that into this equation. So what do you have? You have 0.085 multiplied by
1.
You see this? Don't fool yourself. It's something that you can do in your head. Because look, 85 over 1,000 is 0.085. You're multiplying it by 4,000. 4 times 5, 20, carry over 2. 4 times 8, 32, plus 2. Okay, but you have to practice it. Remember, you have calculator, no calculator, so you have to work on those skills. Don't wait till grade 11. That's too late. Okay, so I've got, this is my equation here. So I'm going to take 340, I'm going to minus 16, 0.095y plus 0.085y. 340 minus 16 is 324. So when I add those, now I'm going to divide both sides by 0.180. So if you solve for the actual variable, then your end answer is but you cannot do it wrong. So if you decide to solve for x, you just have to remember at the end, in this question, when you solve for x, you get 2200. You just have to remember at the end, 2200 was at 8.5. It was the 1800 that was at 9.5. But that's why it's always easier to solve for the actual variable that you're looking for. Questions? So this happens a lot in the pharmacies. They have salt solutions and glycations at different percentages. We need 10 liters at the end. Okay? So the situation is like this. This one is 15%. This one is 25%. So those are the three jars. We're going to take some of this, and add it up to here. So we're working in liters. So this is X liters. This is Y liters. And this is 10 liters. Sometimes if you just draw it out, right, it becomes a little bit easier to see. If I take this salt solution and I add this salt solution, I will get 10 liters. If I take 15% of this, 25% of this, I'll get 21% of this. Questions? You see it? Okay, so I've got X plus Y equals 10. I've got 0.15X plus 0.25Y equals 0.21 times 10. So the easiest thing to do in this situation is elimination. So this question said, find the volume of each. So it doesn't matter whether I solve for X or Y, I got to find both anyway. So if I multiply this by 0.15, 0.15 times X, 0.15 times Y, 0.15 times 10. These go away. This gives me 0.10y equals 0.6. So y is 0.6 divided by 0.1, which is 6. Martina? So there's a lot of questions on there that I'm going to give you. You're working on that today and tomorrow. Okay? Because I'm not trying to kill you, I'm just trying to cover the material. So today and tomorrow is that. And then on Thursday, I'll give you 9 more word problems. That's why I'm giving you today and tomorrow to finish that. And then you can finish them all over the PADA. All right. So now we have time, distance, and speed. So we know that speed is equal to distance over time. We know that speed times time equals distance. And we know that time is equal to distance over speed. So one way the plane is traveling in the same direction as the wind. Another way is flying against the wind. So this is like when you're riding on a bike and you've got one of those ridiculous bubble jackets. The wind is blowing against you and you're trying to ride against that. It's like you have a parachute on and it's going to slow you down. If the wind's behind you and pushing you, it's faster to fly. So we need the plane speed and we need the wind speed. So let's say x kilometers per hour plane speed and y kilometers per hour wind speed. So far? So we have these situations. So I've got speed. I've got distance. I have time. So this is with the wind behind you, this is against the wind. All right? So you have to understand what's happening here. That's why the chart kind of helps here. The speed of the plane when you're traveling with the wind and it's behind you, pushing you, helping you, your speed will be When you're flying and the wind is against you, it's slowing you down. So then your speed will be x minus 1. The distance is 600 kilometers. The time is the distance divided by the speed. You see it yet? No, it's not on my face. You're a little looking at me. I mean, what's the total time? So if you add this and you add this, you've got two equations. This one's equal to 2 hours. Because it tells you when the plane flies in the same direction, it takes 2 hours. On the return trip, it takes 3 hours. So the equations you have are the following. 600 over x plus y equals 2. 600 over x minus y equals 3. They just look ugly, but they're not. You think it's ugly because it's in the bottom, right? But you do what you did all your life. This is 2 over 1. So what would you do? You would cross multiply. 600 times 1 is equal to x plus y times 2. This is 3 over 1. 600 times 1 equals 3 times x minus y. Yes or no?
Yes.
Before you multiply, let's see if we can make this simpler for us. That's 2 divided to 600. So why multiply it out? Why not do this? Why not divide both sides by 2? Then you're going to get 300 equals x plus y. Three also divides into 600. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3. 200 equals x minus y. It's already set up for you to solve by elimination. Just add the two equations. So 300 minus 200, x minus x, y minus minus y. Then take this equation. Without that table, it becomes so hard to set up. This question, a lot of people just leave blank. So you have to try to practice it like all of the different situations. You'll see these a lot more next semester when you take grade 10. Okay, so plane speed to 50 kilometers an hour. Wind speed So today we have 4 people away. I don't know how many we'll have away tomorrow, but we'll go one day at a time. Tomorrow you work on the rest of those questions from the sheet, and then Thursday we'll do some other word problems, and then we'll just wait till we write our test. Okay? Hey, some of you guys, do you have friends in Miss Sum's class?
Yeah.
She has great, yeah. So Miss Sum here, it's a great name for a math teacher. That's the only other name that would be better is Miss Product. This division. All right, so Miss Sum has a farm. I don't know if you guys know this. And there's 30 animals there. Some are cows and others are chickens. Getting goats next year. If you peek under the fence, because that's what people do when they walk past the farm, you will see that there are 80 feet or legs in total. Assuming all the chickens and cows have all their feet, how many cows and chickens are there? So suppose there are X cows and Y chickens. There are 30 animals in the farm. So if you take the cows and you add the chickens, you're going to get the Now, most cows have 4 legs. So 4 times X. Most chickens have 2 legs. So 2 times Y equals 8. And you can do this by substitution or elimination. Okay? In fact, if I just took this equation and multiplied it by 2, this would give me 2x plus 2y equals 60. 2x equals 20, x equals 10. So 10 cows and 20 chickens. These are just the regular cows, not the ones they used to make lean beef. Those cows have 3 legs. All right. These are all the questions that I've made those examples. There are no textbook questions about the farm because it's just Miss Samu as a farm. So what I did was, because I'm used to this, so this is pre-IB, right? So normally I always do the chapter 1 and chapter 2 from grade 10, and there's no textbook. So I typed up all of the questions here, and I sequenced them according to that sheet that you have. That's why I asked you not to write on it. So when I give this to you, it'll make a little more sense. You've got questions from example 1, questions from example 2, example 3, example 4, 5, and 6. Okay. And this is what the day and tomorrow.
It's not here today. What?
I don't know what is here too. Tell people know anyone or not.